Welcome to this edition of ONME Sunday Mornings. My name is Julia Dudley Najib, along with
Lennis Najib.
And today we have a special edition. And because there was so much information, we wanted to give at least a majority of the show to the recall that is happening within the City of Fresno in regards to the District 3 seat currently held by the Honorable Oliver Baines. Well, Oscar Robinson is one of those individuals from the community who's doing the recall effort. Mm-hmm. When you're looking at a recall effort, you do have to have those 10 votes, 10 signatures to be able to even begin the recall process. And then thereafter, depending on the percentage of a vote, then you are required to get those many signatures to be able to have that recall effort on the ballot. Now, we do have a special election that's coming in because of the Henry T. Perea seat that he is resigning from, and that might be an option. The community might see another name on the ballot. But this interview took place on Valley Black Talk Radio's show. We too wanted to know the why. And so that's what we're going to be watching here shortly. Today we're here at the African American Historical and Cultural Museum of the San Joaquin Valley, located on 1857 Fulton Street. And so we encourage you and all the Valley to come and learn more about Kwanzaa and be able to be a part of the cultural celebration that the African American community invites you to attend. So you can attend right here. So let's get right into the interview. We'll look at this part one, and we're finding more out about Oscar Robinson, who's been a member of this community, I guess he said, since he was born. So let's take a look at this excerpt from the Valley Black Talk Radio show. So tell us about who Oscar is. We want to know who you are first.
Ask me anything.
All right. Do you have family?
Yes, I have 4 beautiful kids. I'm married. Their ages 15, 11, 4 months, and
wow.
A 6-year-old.
Tell us about school, where you went to school.
I went to Edison High School.
I'm a Panther.
So Edison.
We go back and forth.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so Edison, what about before Edison?
I went to Computech Middle School, right next to Edison. I went to Air Elementary.
And anything?
So, are you a Fresno native? Born and raised.
Do you still live in West Fresno? Okay.
Yeah,
And-
Northwest Fresno. Probably the new part of District 3.
Okay.
Yeah, newly developed.
So you are a District 3 resident, or have been?
Yes.
Okay.
But
Right.
now, I first met Oscar at the museum. So, were you affiliated with the museum?
What year was that?
Oh,
I was raised in the museum.
okay.
Yeah.
Well, and it's been a little while,
Okay.
too. So, and plus, I was in a play with your mother 1,000 years ago.
Oh, now you make his mom seem like she's old. 1,000 days ago, you mean?
It was
1,000 days.
Yeah, it was 1,000 years for me, but just a year for her.
Minutes ago.
What church did you go to, or do you go to?
I was raised in fellowship,
Okay.
and now family attends Church of God of Christ. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. And so now that people understand, okay, this is someone obviously who lives in District 3, is concerned about his district. And so I really want to go there. I really want to go there with you to first tell us about your concerns, as if there were no recall effort. Okay, and that is the part one, and after the break, we will look at a part 2, finding more about the reasons that he's wanting to do this recall effort in regards to the Oliver Baines, who holds the District 3 seat for the City of Fresno. We'll be right back.
We, the people of the San Joaquin Valley,
pledge to do our part to protect our air and the health of our community.
We pledge to burn cleaner and burn less.
We pledge to register our wood-burning device.
We pledge to be good neighbors and check before we burn.
Because protecting our air can be as easy as checking before we burn.
It's our air. It connects us all. And together, we can protect it.
Check before you burn. A message from the Valley Air District.
Hey Fresno! After a great summer of water conservation, our numbers fell the past few months.
And to avoid state fines, we're cutting back to 1 outdoor watering day per week, starting November 1st.
Odd-numbered addresses water on Saturday and even addresses on Sunday.
Or be a zero hero and stop outdoor watering into the springtime.
Many Fresno landscapes survive on just dew and rainfall all winter long.
So remember, one day is okay, but you can be a hero with zero.
A message from the City of Fresno.
Welcome back to ONME Sunday Mornings. My name is Julia W. Najib, along with
Lennis Najib.
And we want to go right into the second part of this interview. And this is with Oscar Robinson on Valley Black Talk Radio. And our purpose is to get more information. We also, again, want to make sure we are extending that offer to the Honorable Oliver Baines as well. And not that he has to answer to Mr. Baines, but you're really answering to your constituents and the community. That's most important.
Yeah, one thing he is doing is he has to answer to what he is doing and what progress he's made from the previous District 3 person that was in charge.
That is correct. So let's take a look at that part 2 right now. Stay tuned. What are some of those biggest concerns, whether, it doesn't matter who's in the seat, but what were some of the concerns that you've seen over the years that has progressed and has not been taken care of in District 3?
It's hard to say, right? It seems like it's a void in District 3.
Okay.
And let's be specific. Let's talk about the African American community.
Okay.
It just seems like we're in a void where it's hard to get anything done politically, economically, and the African American community of District 3 is probably the most important community, I'm gonna say in the nation.
Okay.
We're that important because Fresno, the size of Fresno, we're not as big as Chicago, but we have the same problems as Chicago. We're not as big as LA, but we have the same problems as LA. In the business world, in the marketing world, Fresno is used as a test market. They test products here before they take them nationwide. They test marketing strategies before they take them nationwide. Because this is how we're built, how the city is built and the size, and we cover the demographics of the city. So I just see a void where we don't have a lot of answers, and so we're not on the map right now. He's been in office for 5 years.
Okay, that's wild.
Yeah, about 5 years. I don't know how much he's been fundraising or anything, but you could have raised a lot of money in 5 years.
The relevance of having people who know the community or from the community, how does that rate with you? In terms of as public servants?
In terms of public service, you need advisors.
That's a good point.
You know, we have a whole generation in West Fresno that's been through the civil rights, been through the 70s, been through the 80s. They're still around, waiting to get engaged. So you have to utilize that. You have to listen. You have to know the community. You have to have advisors that you talk to that know what they're talking about.
If you can be.
Right. The people are the most important thing. It's not the land. It's not the development. It's the people. So knowing the neighborhoods, that's key. Knowing the people that you're trying to serve. Knowing what they need, checking on them, seeing how they're doing. That's the important part. I don't know. It seems like we don't have a voice. As an elected official, you should be able to speak for the people and communicate, be their voice, take up for them. For instance, let's say the shooting on North where the undercover cop car got shot up. You know, during that, the police went door to door, made everybody come out of their house, had them outside 3, 4 o'clock in the morning, people's grandmothers, people's aunts, the whole community. Nobody said that wasn't okay. You know, let those people get some rest. Nobody said maybe the police department needs to apologize for that, or nobody cared.
I would like to feel like whoever my representative is, especially on a local level, that they're accessible.
Right.
If you were in that seat, what would you do to be accessible? I mean, a web page, you're gonna walk the neighborhood regularly, what do you?
I'm gonna be in the community. You know, I could say I'm gonna have a meeting once a week in different parts of the district and be there. I can do that, but I'll be surrounded by people I know, and the communication lines are always open.
So I think that's what I hear you saying, the importance of whoever's in that seat, and if you were in that seat, being able to have advisors around you. And you don't currently see that in this particular seat. Is that what you say is missing?
Definitely, it's definitely missing.
Okay.
How can you work without advisors?
So my question is, have you talked to the current District 3 representative who's holds that seat, Oliver Baines, have you gotten a chance to speak with him, to tell him, before this day, before any recall effort, have you reached out to him? Did you attempt to try to talk to him during that 5 years, or when you saw things were not going right in your community or constituents?
No, this all happened relatively soon. I been going through a lot of training for the campaign manager. So I've been seeing more, I've been learning more.
Okay.
And I'm like, wow, there's a void here.
And you didn't realize that that void is because the person in that seat could help to fix those issues.
Right.
Okay,
Right.
I understand.
Right.
Okay. And so when you currently, have you currently talked to him about, hey, I'm doing this recall effort, here's why? Were you able to address that and speak with Oliver Baines in regards to why?
Well, I met with them and we discussed it. And he tried to talk me out of it, but I just did that really out of respect. There's really not too much to talk about.
Okay. We just got a chance to look at that excerpt, and on our way back, we'll look at a part 3, getting down to the nuts and bolts of this. You are watching ONME Sunday Mornings. We'll be right back.
My name is Brianna with Elite Wireless. We are a consultant, I guess that's probably the best way, and we're solutions engineers. In our situation, we did look like a brand new business because of the way we were expanding all at once. So in that case, you have a lot of discrimination from the banks. So we wanted to create our own brand. We wanted to grow outside of what we were doing at that particular point. We grew about 6 departments within a year's time. Each month it becomes a struggle when you're growing rapidly like we are. So growing rapidly doesn't mean that, again, the customers know about every product that we provide or every service. But they came in and they got us at a very pivotal point.
So we're a bridge, right? So what are we a bridge to, and who are we a bridge for? Well, that emerging company that it may be doing business out of their living room or their garage, that they want to hire somebody for the first time. You know, that's a scary jump. So providing some capital, so a little bit of guidance through that jump is really what we're there for. I mean, it's word of mouth is how we spread, and so we want people out there to know that our doors are open, and if you just want an hour of our time to sit down, pitch your idea, talk about what it takes, that we have loan officers that can sit down with you, professionals that have guided others towards capital, but maybe it's not even just capital that you need, maybe it's just some ideas or take a look at a projection.
We, the people of the San Joaquin Valley,
pledge to do our part to protect our air and the health of our community.
We pledge to burn cleaner and burn less.
We pledge to register our wood-burning device.
We pledge to be good neighbors and check before we burn.
Because protecting our air can be as easy as checking before we burn.
It's our air. It connects us all. And together, we can protect it.
Check before you burn. A message from the Valley Air District.
Hey Fresno! After a great summer of water conservation, our numbers fell the past few months.
And to avoid state fines, we're cutting back to 1 outdoor watering day per week, starting November 1st.
Odd-numbered addresses water on Saturday and even addresses on Sunday. Or be a zero hero and stop outdoor watering into the springtime.
Many Fresno landscapes survive on just dew and rainfall all winter long.
So remember, one day is okay, but you can be a hero with zero.
A message from the City of Fresno.
Back. You are watching ONME Sunday Mornings, and we've been doing excerpts from Valley Black Talk Radio, which was an interview with Oscar Robinson, Mel Sanders, myself, and Joel Riversmith. And it's all about asking those hard questions. And that's the thing about the media. We don't like to choose sides or take sides. We want to make sure that the side is the community side, and that they know all things that are happening at one time. Anything you want to add to that?
One thing is, nobody want to take sides. We want to just get the facts. Once we get the facts, we can be our own judge out of intelligence to see which direction, which way is best benefiting for the community at large.
So let's look at part 3, or the last part. I think we're on part 3 with Oscar Robinson in an interview in regards to the recall effort on District 3 Oliver Baines. From as far as we know, you have the votes to start the initial recall.
I have the initial
signatures.
The initial signatures to let the county know we're going to serve them with the intent to.
A question about that. Now, does that start with, the county elections office or the city clerk?
The county elections office.
Okay, and then it doesn't have to go to the city clerk for any.
I think the county elections office.
Okay.
Yeah.
And did they give you a specific layout of what it would take to get it on the ballot? I mean, in terms of how many signatures, if in fact you had the legitimate signatures, what would be the steps and how many signatures you would need to get it qualified?
I haven't asked them directly how many signatures. From my math, it's probably between 700 and 1,200.
Yeah.
So it's not that thousands of signatures.
Yeah, there were folks who were thinking, and the word was out, oh, he's got to get at least 5,000-6,000 people to do that. And man, I don't know if you can get that kind of help from this community, because but I think you're more closer to the accurate number in terms of what it takes to get that qualified to go on to the ballot. And then comes the mission of how do you convince people for change, because that is a very difficult, we're very, laid back, and a lot of times you'll hear a lot of conversation from folks talking about, I don't like them, but when you ask them to sign that petition, or are you going to participate in the voting process? Man, I don't know. They give you all kinds of reasons of why they're not. The politicians going to do what they want. Who are you going to get? They're going to do the same thing the last guy did, and blah, blah, blah. So you'll hear all of that. So,
Right. I mean, I do a lot of the work myself, so they'll be telling me that.
Do you feel like you're getting a lot of resistance, like what he's saying?
No.
Okay.
No, not at all.
So it sounds like there is community concern with the current District 3 leadership.
Right. I think there's a future in West Fresno. I think there's a renaissance in the future of West Fresno. I think there's an art renaissance in the future of West Fresno. I think there's a economic renaissance. I think there's an entrepreneur on every block in West Fresno. I think there's a business that's going to come out of West Fresno. It's going to be big.
And when you talk with District 3 Oliver Baines, who has a current seat, were you able to tell him all of these things that are not happening, or was it just more so about the recall effort?
It's not really I'm not taking it as my job to tell him what he's not.
You have a point.
what he's doing. Right. It was more about the recall and just a discussion we had. Yeah.
I mean, if you do a recall effort, it doesn't mean that you all of a sudden have to do the campaigning. Technically, you could do a recall, and it could be for someone else to be in that seat or for you to be in that seat.
Yeah, but having just learned that anybody can jump in at any point after the foundation is laid, I'm just saying I would have a website really quick.
It's definitely up to the voters. It's not up to me.
Okay.
It's up to the voters.
So take us through the phases. So first, you've already submitted the signatures. Do you have a certain window that you have to get supporters?
The next couple of weeks, I need to serve him with the intent. Then he has a couple days he has to write a formal answer.
Okay.
And all this will be published. And once we get his answer, and the county clerk approves it, we can move forward with creating the petition.
So, does the law specify what constitutes the reason for a recall?
From my understanding, there's no reason. You don't have to do anything wrong. You don't have to do anything illegal. It's just up to the community. Anybody can recall. A lot of people feel more people should be recalled.
So, and how long does this take? Because I know there's some time constraints when you talk about within the final 180 days of service that a person can't be recalled on either end of that, whether it be the first 180 days or the last 180 days. So how much time do they give you for signatures? Whatever that number will be, how much time do you get to gather those signatures?
The whole process can be done in 60 to 80 days.
Wow.
It's up to the county clerk's office. They run the elections. They could put it on, if everything gets done, they could put it on the June ballot. If everything gets done, they could put it on the April ballot. It's up to them. And how much pressure we apply to get it done. And how much pressure
fast you can come up with the signatures.
Right. Tells them we want it done.
So if it's 700 signatures, what would be your goal to make sure that you had ample signatures to make sure it qualified?
Maybe 2,000.
Oh man, if you brought 2,000 signatures and I was the seated officer, I wouldn't be thinking about no election. It'd be election, but it wouldn't be the recall. Because you bring 2,000 signatures, hey, I'm out of here. I'm not standing for a recall. Because that would be a strong, strong message. Because I don't think they got much more votes than that, So when you have that many people that would sign a recall petition, ooh, man, it's to me.
Is there a lot of support, do you think?
It's a lot of support.
A recall, no matter who.
It's a lot of support.
It's
a lot of frustration.
A lot of, okay.
Yeah, there's a lot of black eyes in the community that people see every day. There's nothing can be done. I'm not saying that everything can be done, but
you'd like to see some effort.
At least communicate.
He can't be everywhere or do everything. This is from, Mr. Baines' point of view. And he's saying, I also represent other areas of the community. I also represent my other constituents, not just Southwest Fresno. How would you answer to that?
The African-American community is an important community.
So all in all, people might complain and say, well, he doesn't have any specific points as to why you want to recall Oliver Baines. Are you able to say anything specific, or is it that this is not the right man for the job? Because he has been voted for a second term, so someone thinks he's the right man for the job.
Yeah,
no?
Voters make mistakes.
Okay, that's true.
That's fair, right?
Okay, that's fair.
And a lot of people didn't vote.
Okay.
Right? So it was their options. And he had plenty of opportunity.
So even with him having a lot of supporters and probably a lot of money backing him, that doesn't scare you. That's not something that's going to stop you from going forward.
I haven't been able to find too many supporters.
Oh, okay.
And political money is public knowledge, public information, and I haven't been able to find that either.
Okay.
There's going to be a whole lot more of that. As it proceeds, you're going to hear a whole lot more hearsay. And depending on, this is just my view of it, depending on just how dependent the system is on the current councilman staying there will determine how much resources they're going to put with that. And if you don't see much, then the message is pretty clear that, we don't need you no more. Basically is what it's saying.
And there's no room for him to change. You don't think it's too late, or we can't hurry up and wait to see if he's going to change?
It's going to be up to the voters.
Okay.
Okay, so let me ask you this. When you think something like this through, you think about what the councilman could or would do that would convince folks that let's stay the course for the next 2.5 years. And I'm trying to think of, as if you're in his shoes, what could you think of that might be a strong platform for that individual to at least neutralize the recall effort by saying, whatever he could say. I don't know. I'm just asking. Is anything to stand out to you that could be? And I know you said no before, but I wanted you to really kind of think about it and see if there's anything that might be something that the incumbent could do to.
It's never too late to show support. It's never too late to support. So support the community, support the programs, support the nonprofits, support the individuals, support the media. It's never too late to support.
Is there anything personal? Is this a personal, I don't want to say attack, is there anything that you have found about his personality or him as a person that you're saying, this isn't right, this is why we need to recall him? Is it more so that?
It's not personal with me. Mm-hmm. He feels that it's personal.
Okay.
But it's not personal.
But for you, it's not personal.
Wait a minute. How well do you know him? How could to be personal, you guys hang out together? You golfing buddies or?
No, I met with him on Monday or Tuesday.
So that's the first time?
First time I had a conversation with him, but
okay.
So then how is it personal? We know each other, but conversation-wise, not too many conversations, but
I wouldn't see that as being personal.
Well, no, we just need to organize, get our priorities together and come together. It's going to take a group. It's not going to be an individual. It's going to take a group. And, to put West Fresno back on the map.
And it sounds like what you're saying, there's already a start to that because you're only required to get 10 to 15 signatures to even submit, to get the process started, and you were able to get 23.
Right. And I stopped.
Wow. But you could have kept going to get more. So that's, that's troubling. That's troubling.
Well, one more thing. How much does this cost? Is there a cost to this whole beginning process to get it?
Absolutely. It has to be paid for by the petition has to be paid for by the proponents. And all the marketing and the work to get the petitions has to be paid for.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, but part that goes, does the county get a fee for the process of this, or is
the county will have to pay for the election.
But I'm talking about the to lead up to that. In other words, when they give you the okay, do they say, okay, we're going to give you okay, but we need $700, or we need $500, or we need?
There's no fee.
Okay, all right.
Just the stuff has to be paid for.
Okay.
And anything lastly you want to say?
Lastly, just for the community, you don't have to choose sides. You can just vote.
That's
true. You want to. You don't have to choose sides now. It's not about choosing sides. It's about voting and letting the community speak.
And that wraps up this episode. Again, this was a special looking at the community concern. And when people understand that Southwest Fresno and West Fresno is a big part of that District 3, even though it's a small part in comparison. And so we hope that you, the audience, gets to make your own opinion and decision. We do again extend that offer to the Honorable Oliver Baines to also come on the show, come on Valley Black Talk Radio. Thank you for watching this edition of ONME Sunday Mornings. Have a great week.